Future Commerce is brought to you by GroupBuy. You can transform your customers' e-commerce experience with GroupBuy's new product discovery platform, which is powered by Google Cloud Retail AI. Stay tuned for more on how GroupBuy and Google are revolutionizing e-commerce search and recommendations later on in the show. This episode of Future Commerce is brought to you by Wix. That's right, Wix. The industry-leading content management platform is now also an industry-leading e-commerce platform with advanced online storefront features and over 700,000 active stores already selling worldwide. Find out if Wix is right for you by going to wix.com/e-commerce today. That's Wix, wix.com/e-commerce, or listen to the middle of the show to find out more about how they can transform your business. Hey, has anyone told you today that you look gorgeous? Well, if not, now they have. Future Commerce is brought to you by Gorgeous, which is the #1 e-commerce help desk for Shopify, Magento, and BigCommerce brands. With Gorgeous, you can automate up to 20% of your commonly asked questions and put it seamlessly into your existing tech stack. Go to gorgias.com/futurecommerce for 2 months free. That's gorgias.com/futurecommerce for 2 months free. Brian, you start.
Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Future Commerce, the podcast about next generation commerce. I'm Brian.
I'm Philip. Hey, today we've got a special guest on the show, someone who I feel like if you're on Twitter needs no introduction, but if you are looking for a resident CPG nerd, we have her here joining us. It's Kendall Dickieson. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to geek out.
We're gonna geek out. And I was saying in the pre-show, I'm feeling my age a little bit. Funny story. When we first met, it was one of those like camera off Zoom calls, and we were just kind of like going back and forth. And you said, you know, I'm just a zennial in this world, and I thought you said zillennial, which because we need both of those terms. And then I did the cringiest thing that a 41-year-old man can do. And I'm like, oh, me too. Which really felt bad when I hung up. So,
you know what? The funny thing is I'm definitely younger than Philip, but I'm definitely older than Philip. So I you know.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It feels bad.
We're all zillennials at heart.
That's right.
We really are.
Zillennials at heart.
Yeah.
It's what matters.
That's like the title
of
Philip's next book, Zillennial at Heart.
There's a completely off. Thank you so much, Brian. It makes me feel great. Completely off topic. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I'm listening to Screen Drafts. Has this they're doing like the October spooky season thing this month, and they were doing a whole show on body horror, and specifically like the running down like David Cronenberg films like The Fly and Videodrome and some other ones that will scar you for the rest of your life. But they're talking about but body horror is not really aging, even though that is body horror. It really is. Like you're 25 in your mind always, but you look in the mirror and you wake up one day and you're 50, and that's body horror. And I'm like, preach it, sister. I am absolutely experiencing body horror every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
You're fine.
Let's so Expo East just happened, and it's in the before times it's a show that you would have been at. What happened to Expo East this year? Did you go? What happened?
I had a ticket and I was really excited, and then I realized that I also agreed to go to a 3-day festival in the city, and I was like, I have to pick the battle.
I feel like you omitted the name of that festival on purpose. Did you?
I was offered tickets to this festival for 3 days, VIP, once in a lifetime opportunity, and it was would be my first festival, concert, anything since COVID happened. And I'm a huge music fiend. So I was like, and I was like, but I love because I'm a CPG nerd. So I was like, but I love Expo East. And I I wanted to go to both, but my heart was like, stay in the city, go to the festival. And I'm a huge advocate of go with your gut. So that's what I did. Meanwhile, though, I would have gone to Philly, but then I actually realized that it started early, like 2 days earlier than I thought it did. So it still wouldn't have worked out, actually. I also didn't even book a place to like stay.
There's a lot going against you having been at the show.
I was debating doing like the day trip in, like going in the morning, go, leave. So I was debating that, but I kept getting like the emails of like, download your digital pass. And I'm like, I can't, because like I'm not going. But it like pained me because I would keep sending it on Superhuman as a reminder to myself for some reason. I was like, yeah, in case I go, like I might just like pack up and go for the day. But no, I lived vicariously through everyone that was there and had severe FOMO. But even like a lot of my friends who I usually go with and like would stay with, or where it's like we all have food accounts together, and it's like, are you going? Are you going? Like a lot of those people were gonna go and like also didn't make it because like it's also just like I didn't know that I guess I missed the fine print that they weren't doing any samples this year, which makes sense.
Oh, what's the point?
Exactly. That was
it makes all kinds of sense. It really does.
I know it does make sense, but I was like, everyone goes to the expo for snacks and samples.
So wait,
back up just 1 second. I don't know how you do a virtual event with samples either. That's a whole other question.
I didn't even do the virtual. I didn't do any. I didn't do any of it. I'm sorry if anyone from the Expo team is listening to this.
They're definitely listening because it's going to have it in the title.
Invite me again next year.
But for the unacquainted, it's a natural products and it's where the DTC nerds hang out, sort of an expo. Been around for decades, right?
Yeah, for a while. I think this would have been my fourth or fifth one, but it's been around for a long time. Yeah. It's like Expo East, Expo West. Everyone loves West, but I love East more than West. So.
Why?
How are they different shows?
So Expo East, usually it's in Baltimore. This is the first year that it was out of Baltimore based on like how many years I've gone. So it was in Philly this year. I think it was supposed to be a bigger location. I'm honestly not sure. And then West is like in California, in Anaheim, in the Anaheim Convention Center. With that more so being like, I believe it might be like double or like triple the size of East. So it's just like sensory overload for someone who like already lives in a state of anxiety. I can't do it. And so I like East also because it's like more accessible. Well, one, it's more accessible for me at least, but then it's also more my friends go to East too. So like people I haven't seen in a while. West is good if, you know, a lot of the brands who are based on the West Coast tend to want to stay West. Some do travel to Expo East, but I don't know. I like how cozy Expo East is since it's like smaller. And you're able to like actually get more like one-on-one time with the brands. I feel like to the point of where like, because of my like Instagram account, like I'll get emails before Expo of like, do you want to like book time with the founder, or like, do you want to talk to like someone from their team for 30 minutes? Like, what do you need? Like anything like that. So I like that way more. But yeah, that's what I would say. But Expo West is always fun. They're both fun.
So if
it's samples and good food.
If there's no friends and there's no samples, is there anything that you had like FOMO about by like missing it?
I think I like just was getting FOMO from just like seeing the new things that you know are coming. Because like that's also one of my favorite things. Just like
what's an example?
I think what was it? One thing I think I saw it on was it one of the BevNet accounts, or it might have been like it might have been Veg News. I think it was Veg News. There is it's got very sunny in this room. There is a marshmallow spread that I believe is called Dandies. And it's in the UK, but I believe they're coming to the US, and it's like a vegan like healthified marshmallow fluff. And I'm a huge Fluffernutter fan. So it's very important to me. But then it's also like, you know, seeing like brands that like I've always loved, like whether it's like the Bonzas or like Siete or like anything like that, like seeing what they're up to at like the conventions, because it's just like really cool to see like how they're evolving from when I first saw them. Or let's see what else. yeah, I would say like Dandy's was one. I think also just like, I don't know, I just miss like meeting founders in real life. I think that's one thing for me. That's always been fun. Coming from someone who's like actually extremely shy, but who would have thought?
I mean, it can be sort of there's this thing that happens at a big trade show where the sensory overload kind of takes over for a little bit. And
Yes, totally.
Even if you're an introvert, like there's so much to see, it's overwhelming, and it kind of helps. It like helps you kind of acquaint yourself to the craziness and the bustle, but it is so physically exhausting.
Oh my gosh, I know.
At those types of shows, it really is.
And this last week, hit shows like Philip used to.
Yeah, I was once upon a time I was on the road 30 weeks a year, doing trade shows or expos. That's insane. And I was speaking quite a bit, so there was a whole other element of anxiety that came along with it. But that was for another life. When you're thinking about brands that, what are the brands that are on your radar right now, Kendall, that are sort of like God tier for you? What are the ones that maybe, that you hold in high esteem, being, that you are the resident DTC CPG nerd?
Oh man, it's a hard question.
You can take your time because we can edit these things too,
Let's see. I just got off a call with, as I mentioned, Grace and someone else, and Grace Clark. Grace Clark. Yeah. Shout out to Grace Clark. Let's see. We actually only spoke on the phone for the first time, maybe like 2.5 weeks ago, but we met at a dinner last year. And let's see. So I would say high esteem when it comes from, I'm going to split this up.
Please.
When it comes from someone who is like a creator myself, like as someone who like runs and operates like my own personal brand on Instagram, who like receives like these PR packages from brands and like seeing like the work they put into like, whether we want to call it like taking care of their creators or it's just like the way they present their new products that are dropping and like the experience that they give the creator firsthand. Siete and Bonza, top two, always, never fails. Siete never fails to make me tear up somehow with every box that I get. Like handwritten note, weird personalized, like weird in a good way, personalized item where it's like you would not expect it. Like I think the most recent box, it was like they were celebrating that they got into a new like wholesale location. So they sent like 2 things of like their almond tortillas, which are my favorite. And they had like hand knit tortilla holders made with the Siete logo on them. And they gave you like a customized Siete lunchbox and like the handwritten card and like pencils and pens, like back to school vibes, like all that. I've gotten like homemade coffee, like roasts from them that they'll make with local roasters. Like it's just, they go like the extra mile where it's like, right. With so many, this is an exact talk I just had with a brand like 30 minutes ago, is how brands need to like really hone in on like separating that experience for like creators and press versus like consumer. Like I don't believe the two should always be receiving the same package because like this is an experience. It should always be an experience for both. So that doesn't mean like lag on your packaging and stuff like that. But like for creators these days, like everyone receives boxes, and it's like either you're sending it in a brown box and they're taking the product out and that's it, or like you're giving them something where they're like, I want to share this on like every social platform. So when it comes to those two, I would say those are my favorite. Then right now, like God tier. Oh man. This is so hard. Olipop. Shout out Eli. I'd say Olipop. I would say I'm a huge Fly by Jing fan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a huge...
They get the love. Fly by Jing gets so much love.
It's so good.
I feel the love through the love that comes through my small glimpse into the DTC social sphere. But I can tell you, I don't know why. And this is a thing that I have. It's a personal problem. So this is in no way a failing on anyone's part. I don't do dipping or sauces. I just don't.
Really?
And I really want to.
No ketchup?
I don't even get sauce at Chick-fil-A, y'all. Like I don't do ketchup.
So
I don't do it.
Wait. Is this when I can throw my AirPods on the table?
Yes,
and leave
now
the
you can quit. Yeah, you can. You can.
You should.
Absolutely, you should. Yeah.
Oh man, this is.
Do you do sauces, Brian?
Of course.
Dipping?
What do you think I am?
And salsas? And... I'm not a monster.
You do spreads though, right? You do spreads. You just don't do sauces.
Do spread. Oh yeah.
Are you like a peanut butter and jelly person?
I am.
Oh, man. We just had a conversation
every day.
About this.
Every day. This started in COVID. And I need Kendall. I need your help too. I need you to tell me what to do, get to really trick out my lunch every day since COVID. So we are in month like 19 now or something.
Just crazy.
I have eaten a peanut butter and honey sandwich every day. At least just 5 days a week. That's it. Peanut butter and honey sandwich, and I chase it with some coffee.
Brian's just like, please help me. I've heard this.
I know.
No.
He watches me make the sandwich half the time, and it's the peanut butter. My
mouth sticks together just like watching him. I'm just
just thinking about that.
I've
never done just straight peanut butter and honey.
I'm like,
so
really?
I feel like I would choke on that.
I need help. This is where
guy
I need
is Winnie the Pooh is what's going on right now.
I'm the walking embodiment.
Forget Zillennial. He's a different league.
He's a total Xi Jinping. This guy. He's got a
Pooh at heart. Philip's next book.
Put that on a t-shirt. I would love to dress up my daily peanut butter and honey. What's the peanut butter and brand that I need to go
I can
check
help
out?
you. Don't worry. So I just got a huge package of peanut butters last night in the mail. And of course, this morning, I ripped them all open and had a small taste test to myself. They're from actually like a Instagram. I believe like they're a couple actually in real life. I can't remember their hand off the top of my head. It's like the clean fitness something, but their brand is Offbeat Butters. And they're all like these flavored homemade peanut butters, and they were like salted caramel. I don't know if you guys are caramel or caramel. I'm gonna say caramel.
Caramel. I'm team caramel.
Okay.
Whatever it is, it's delicious because I love it.
Exactly, Brian. That's all that counts. So it was like salted caramel. It was a monkey business one. So there was like dried banana and like cacao in it. One was a Buckeye brownie one. Like insane flavors, so good. But so I would recommend those. Or do you like hazelnut?
Oh yeah. I can jam with some hazelnut.
So I am obsessed with gooey. Have you heard of gooey?
No.
So it is basically, in short, simple terms, healthy Nutella.
Oh, I've seen this before. I'm sorry, I didn't know it by name. I've definitely seen this on
Twitter.
Somewhere, Instagram or Twitter.
Yeah. So no palm oil, low sugar.
Right.
Tastes like the real thing. I've been doing that because, I won't lie that I am on your side of that. I have a peanut butter and banana sandwich every night.
What is with the two of you?
See, you gave me a lot of grief over it, but I feel vindicated.
I mean, the honey combination worries me a little bit because I feel like I almost choke on a peanut butter and banana sandwich. So I feel like with honey, it would just be like a whole different level.
Can I explain the honey though? Let me just tell you one thing about the honey.
Go for it.
There is a thing that happens with wildflower honey. When you put it on the peanut butter, it crystallizes just a little bit.
So it's like crunch.
Kind of gets a little crunch to it. I'm telling you, there's something there. And then you get like a not a giant piece of bread, but get a thicker, not just sandwich bread, but like a thicker cut whole grain or like some sort of like artisan bread, some kind of something with a little nut crunch to it,
Love a good sourdough, but I'm open to anything.
I mean, a sourdough peanut butter and honey. I don't know if I've ever even considered such a thing.
Rye bread, toasted rye bread, peanut butter banana, little bit of cinnamon sugar.
I'm into it.
It's the spot. Also love a good English muffin. I go on about this for days.
This is great.
This is tough. This is tough
though,
for me because I quit gluten 2 years ago, and
this
it's
is
like
I'm sorry, Brian.
I know,
Brian.
It gives me the sandwich.
I think this is when you leave the podcast, Brian.
No, it's fine. It's just sad. It's a sad day. Typically, when I have bread, it's because my wife makes it because she makes incredible bread. She loves making bread, and so she'll make like. I'll eat like einkorn flour or some other interesting grains. And so if I'm going to have a sandwich, it's going to be on like fresh baked einkorn bread.
I'm very jealous of that. But we have one important question that still has not been answered yet. Crunchy or creamy?
Ooh, that is a good question. That was in my mind as well. Like if you've got crunch from the honey and you've got crunch in your bread, do you even need the crunch from the peanuts?
That's a bunch of crunch, Brian. I go creamy on peanut butter only ever, and GTFO with the crunchy peanut butter. I don't understand people that do crunchy peanut butter.
I'm with you on that.
And it's probably because
creamy. It's creamy all the way.
I had, and this has become therapeutic for me now. I'm like oversharing chronically on this particular episode. I had dental problems as a kid, like weak enamel. It's a whole thing. And like just chewing on, like crunching on things, my mom would be all up in my, like, don't bite your ice. It's like there never would have been crunchy peanut butter in my house. And I think you're kind of like, you fix your perceptions on Pashmina said this from Bar and Cocoa, Brian, and it's like stuck in my head now. She's like, you form preferences as a child around things like peanut butter and chocolate at such an early age that they never transition to acquired tastes. And where you the vices like nicotine or caffeine or even beer and wine are things that you acquire tastes for much later in life, so you don't have a fixed point in your mind of what it should taste like. And I think about that a lot, mostly as I'm spreading peanut butter on my sandwich at 12:30.
I love that. Yeah. What is it? I'm gonna have to change my CPG nerd title to peanut butter nerd. But I will take almond butter. I love any butter, but I would say to take it to the next level, I would alternate maybe nights where it's like gooey and something else, maybe not honey, but I love bananas.
The bananas.
Gooey and banana is usually my go-to, but then I also really like, I love a good jam, so can't hate on any of this. Love it.
See,
I'm going to ask you. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
No, I was like, we've talked about peanut butter a lot, and like we haven't talked about jam at all.
And actually,
I really want to get back to.
I am obsessed with how much you were talking about this. This is the conversation I never knew I needed. Yeah. And I just feel like I'm really becoming closer with everyone right now.
I love this.
I love that. I feel it too.
I do want to get back to the fact that Philip has a massive aversion to dips and sauces.
Yeah, the dips and sauces is just I don't know, I'm not saying you said an aversion. I never said that. Thank you. I redeemed myself.
That's where that started from. I totally forgot this all started because
it's because I love Fly by Jing and Kendall. I there's a part of me. So there's like two barriers. I think there's two barriers for me. One is I want to love and support the creators of these brands so much because I believe in what they're doing. I want to support them in their mission. I also feel badly buying something I know I'll never use. And that's the holdup for me for a lot of the direct to consumer movement in CPG is I don't want to buy things for the sake of buying them. And I want to find other ways to support. And if part of that is, hey, we can support with the reach of this show, tens of thousands of people listen to it. Great. And maybe that's the contribution. It's also sometimes a little bit of a crapshoot in this industry, especially in functional foods, where you just don't know what you're going to get. And that's kind of where then I reach sort of a path of indecision, and I spend $60 on a candle. So there you go. It's not about the money. I just want you to know that. Like, it's not because they're expensive food. It's I'm just sort of in a weird time loop with it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think if I was to keep saying more like God tier up there, though, I feel like they almost always fall into like dips or sauces because, right, it's like, well, also because like from a social standpoint and like influencer standpoint, they're like the easiest to seed out because, or like get like creative of because you can put them on everything. So like they're like a good vehicle. Like that's why I feel like this is my thought process, is basically when it comes to like a client and I have to seed product, if a client, not that they like have issues getting UGC per se, but say like it takes a little more like oomph to get it versus like a brand who has like a mix or like a sauce, like they can be on anything and everything where like you might be only able to use XYZ in like certain capacity. So that's why like I feel like sauces take God tier for me because it's just like, or like beverages, just because like you can have them with everything and they're delicious. But then at the same time,
I'm down.
Yeah. At the same time, then I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I've been staying so close to like my favorite brands that like I haven't been experimenting more because I found comfort. I'm trying to think of like the last time I tried something like insanely new, but I truthfully don't think I can off the top of my head right now, which is kind of crazy.
Okay, hold on. So you didn't get to sample stuff at Expo East and you haven't tried anything new in a while. Philip, I'm about to do something that you're going to absolutely hate.
Oh no. What's going on?
So I feel like there's like, we talk about all these incredible DTC brands, and like speaking of sauces, Truff just made our recent 9x9 report, and
awesome.
It's pretty cool brand. But I think for me, and I would love your like what you guys think about this, but like I would love a place I could go like taste these on a regular basis, where it's like a store that sold these in a more like in a place that like, you know, it's like maybe kind of like a warehouse space, and I could go around and sample things.
Gosh, it's a random warehouse.
Just like a warehouse space.
Imagine just a table. There's just one person at this table in a random warehouse. Like, please try these.
I know where Brian's going, so keep going because I know exactly where you're going already.
So
if only there was a place that was a warehouse that we could try these, Kendall. Where? What would that be?
That would be Costco, which I feel like there needs to be a more experimental Costco. Like I really do.
You don't shop at Whole Foods, and that's the thing here. I think that
Whole Foods. That's true to some degree.
Yeah, but product sampling is a thing that you definitely saw. Some retail outlets do. Some retailers do it better than others, right? And that's how we discover new things. If you're a normie and you don't hang out on Twitter all the time, or if you're not an influencer like Kendall, if you don't only think about how you build these types of brands, like
how does
this
everybody
is very
else
inside baseball conversation, right? Normal people discover brands in the way that you just mentioned, Brian.
Right. I feel like there's a space out there in the market that's beyond just a conference, and it's beyond just like mass production, like Costco scale stuff, a space for someone to come in and offer an opportunity to try these types of brands on a more regular basis.
I agree with that. Yeah, because it's also just like, I think this might be a small tangent off like that topic, but like one thing that I've seen is that, a lot of these brands, especially in the beverage space, they have like the only way they can like, I don't want to say sustain D2C, but at least kick off is like, they might not want to do like a 4-pack trial or a 2-pack trial if they have like 2 SKUs or 3 SKUs, whatever. But they'll like go for like the full 12-pack, and it's already like a little more expensive because we all know beverage is like really hard to be in to make sure that like it's immediately like down the road going to be profitable. So seeing that. And then it's like when the minute that they get into like the first retail location, whether that's they want to like hit like middle America, like go Kroger, or like go like more high end, let's say like Erewhon. Like the minute they hit into retail, that takes off way more. Why? Because like they can just try one. They don't have to buy 12.
Right. Exactly.
So true.
So it's like, yeah, it's just like the idea of being able to take one, whether that's like one spoonful, one bottle, like whatever, as long as it's not paying like the full price of what they know it is usually, and just getting like that small, like serotonin boost of like, okay, I tried this now. Like, did I like it? Yeah, because I think that's one thing for me too, where I've been on the same end where, right, I've definitely fallen for the branding before, and then I'm like, no, taste wise, and then.
But that's okay. Not everything is for everybody either, right? Some things just don't connect with a particular person.
Or you might have just tried the wrong version too. Like you might have just like, right, like because so many brands now, and I think a lot of brands are using that in a great light, and of taking like all the customer feedback and then finding the way to improve the product, because it's like then what the things are that would make it more successful. And I think more brands are like starting to be more transparent, like on social or like on site about that. Kind of like, I don't want to say like a Nugs approach. Like Nugs is very, because they're like food tech. So like they're like our newest like V2 0.265 like
I'll wait for the next point release. It's like iOS. I'm not going to be an early adopter of that probably.
Yeah, so it's just like one of those things where it's like, that's kind of like how brands are treating it without saying it's like a numbered version. It's just like this is like new and improved, or it's like whatever. And then it's like, how do you show it's new and improved to the people who have already tried that first version? And that I had the same conversation with the client where it's like, we're gonna see it the minute that like we can literally put up content across all channels that are gonna be like, we need like the raw, realistic like community members, not influencers, literally being like, I spent X amount on V1, I bought V2, these are my thoughts, and this is how much better it is. Like, the people need to hear that.
Future Commerce is brought to you by GroupBuy. Did you know that GroupBuy is a product discovery platform that is powered by Google Cloud Retail AI? And Google and GroupBuy are bringing the future of e-commerce to you by setting the standard for product discovery in the market. This Google Cloud Retail AI includes search and recommendations, personalization, merchandising, analytics, and data enrichment, and it helps you to leverage your online and in-store data through GroupBuy to increase conversions and to reach your revenue goals. GroupBuy powers some of the world's most highly converting retail and wholesale websites, such as Crate & Barrel, CVS Pharmacy, BJ's Wholesale, and Signet Jewelers. And on average, GroupBuy's customers see a 40% increase in conversion rate. So I want you to start empowering your customers today and scale your business today with GroupBuy. You can get 2 months of implementation for free by going to groupbuyinc.com/future-commerce today. That's groupbuyinc.com/future-commerce. Yep, that's a mouthful. It is groupbuyinc.com/future-commerce and get 2 months of implementation for free. Thanks to GroupBuy for sponsoring this episode of Future Commerce. I'm a big fan of using the right tool for the right job. And I'm an even bigger fan of piloting and proving out a capability for your business before you go and throw a ton of money at it. And that's why I am a fan of our newest sponsor at Future Commerce, Wix e-commerce. Wix, the industry-leading content management platform, is now also a growing global e-commerce platform with advanced online storefront features. Solo creators, merch stores, limited releases, micro e-com sites, and oh so much more can be launched in under a day on Wix. Wix e-commerce lets you take control of your customer base and build repeat sales channels with integrated CRM and loyalty tools. You know, Wix might be the right tool for the right job for an entrepreneur, an omnichannel retailer, a brand to get up and run and launch and scale their online stores successfully. Why don't you give it a try? What have you got to lose? Go to wix.com/e-commerce today and join over 700,000 active stores already selling worldwide. with Wix e-commerce. That's Wix, Wix.com/e-commerce. This podcast is brought to you by Gorgeous, the e-commerce help desk that turns customer service into a profit center. I don't know if you've ever had an e-commerce experience like I just had, where my order shipped late, it took forever to arrive, and when it did, there were things missing, and the things that were in the box wasn't what I ordered. Nothing went right. So I reached out to the company to make it right, and every time I talked to them, I felt like I had to start over and have the same conversation again and again and again. I wish that they had been running Gorgeous. Gorgeous is the e-commerce help desk that helps turn customer service into one seamless conversation with your customer in every channel. It's powered by machine learning and automation, and it turns visitors into shoppers. It can unlock sales through live text, chat, social media, and increase your ad effectiveness by as much as the equivalent of 5% increase in ad spend. I would have had so much better of an experience in making what went wrong go right if the brand had been using Gorgeous. They combine all those communication channels like SMS and Instagram DMs, live chat, phone, and everything else all into one organized place, and then they integrate into your e-commerce store. If you're on Magento, BigCommerce, or Shopify, you're going to be able to quickly see customer data and order history and take action right from within your help desk. 7,000 customers, including Steve Madden, Princess Polly, Machine Layer, they all use Gorgeous, and I want to give you 2 months free. Get it today by going to gorgeous.com/futurecommerce. That's GORGIAS.com/futurecommerce and get 2 months free and make your customer service a little bit better with Gorgeous.
There's so much space in the market to do this kind of testing. Like this is why I was saying, I feel like an experimental Costco would be amazing. Imagine if you kept track of this stuff. They had metrics on sampling, and you could actually push out updates like in a sandbox environment almost for food. I feel like this is really necessary. And maybe Expo does that to some degree. That's sort of what it is. But why aren't we doing this on a more regular basis with real-time results?
We had talked about this. What is the Millennial Golden Corral? It doesn't exist. Right? Like that's not a thing that, millennials would probably do. Maybe it's not just all you can eat, it's sample all you like. It could be that, we have an ever growing swath of brands, and it's an event. Really. I mean, some people are doing this. Andrea Hernandez, Snack Shot's doing this to some degree.
Right.
Some people are getting their discovery through, subscription kits and boxes. I think that it's not real until it happens in a physical location, and we're going to see this in a lot more places. Maybe that's a concept, Brian. Maybe Future Commerce should have
I think so.
A tasting.
This is like my dream.
I want to come back
business.
I want to come back to one point that you made earlier, because I was canceled by, it just popped into my mind. I got food canceled. I got snack canceled by Andrea. I'm no longer a snack boy. I was that my title was taken away from me because I complained about a brand of frozen peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like
I
DTC
know exactly
Uncrustables.
I know who you're
I complained about it, and it's, I said it was exactly what you mentioned just now, is that my investment, my it's not just the cost basis of the per sandwich, it's that it was $32 plus shipping, to have 8 sandwiches. Which is $4 a piece. And, I actually wrote a piece on this after I got snack canceled. I wrote a piece on this kind of trying to figure out where my own feelings, like where they come from. Because I spend irrationally on other things. Like it's not about the price. But I started thinking about it. And, to me, Smucker's Uncrustables are already the luxury. It's the like, there's a luxury price point that's been set already in the market. And in my mind, like a ready to eat or a semi ready to eat, just thaw it PBJ, is something that didn't need to be improved upon. Of course, that's just my personal opinion. And maybe if it was a better, maybe if the sandwich itself had been better, I would be happier about it, and wouldn't have written a giant think piece. But the point is that I think we all have, I don't know, we just get in our feels about food, and people draw really strange lines around like what is acceptable, what is not. And I think it's just like, it's so personal, you know? For me, it's just not gonna, that doesn't work. But for someone else, it could be revolutionary. And, you know, who am I to say what belongs in the marketplace or what connects with a person?
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things too, where it's like, what is it? For me, I spend, let's see, I'll always like go into like my health food store down the block, and I'll always buy like a crap ton of Olipop versus like ordering from the website.
For sure.
And then I realize like the amount I'm spending per week on just like a healthy soda or something like that. And in my head, I'm like, why am I doing this? But then I'm like, do I enjoy, like what I asked myself was like, do I enjoy it? Then I'm like, yeah. So then I buy it. But then the same thing goes for like more like, I don't want to say like luxury, but like more like luxury high-end brands where it's like the Comiteers, where it's like, you know, you're paying like $70 a month. But like the experience of it is something I love. And like, I'm a huge coffee person, and I found that I was saving more money using Comiteer, paying that price per month. At first, I was like a little turned off by it, but I knew the product was so good that I was fine with paying for it.
Yeah.
And then like, as much as I love the coffee shop experience, that's something like I'll always like. But when it came to like going to the office, and like I found myself like every morning, like I'll go to the same coffee shop, and I would do it in my head of like, that's $8 every day. Versus like I would spend what I spent on Comiteer in a week.
Right.
It's true.
Philip had the same experience.
So it just like made more sense.
You wrote a whole piece on this, didn't you, Philip?
I did. But it's, you know, it's the old guy, you know, having that experience, but with Nespresso, which objectively, I think a lot of people don't like Nespresso coffee, and that's fine.
I've never tried it, if I'm being fair.
I think it's fine. I like it. It's good. It's convenient. It doesn't taste like Keurig pod coffee. It tastes better than that, but I'm not really discerning about coffee. What I will say is that Comiteer, of which I am an enthusiastic subscriber, Comiteer has something different about it that hooked me, which is it tastes like the pour over coffee. It tastes closer to that than anything else that I can make, and I'm really bad at making pour over coffee at home. Like I don't do it. And so if I want something like that, I've got plenty of it in the freezer now. Yeah. How funny is it though? Like a lot of this isn't it, Kendall? Isn't it a lot of this based on like sort of the recency bias though, in that Comiteer is the newest and it's like the one that we're all excited about now, but will it be around in 5 years, and will people still be going gaga over it? That's the thing I ask myself, you know? Like, are people still going gaga over Taika? I like Taika, but they were losing their minds over Taika, right?
Yeah. I think yes, speak of Comiteer because of the ritual of it, because you're getting a full experience with it. Where with like, I love Taika, but a lot of brands you just open the can or like text. But it's also like, if you're not going to subscribe, then you have no reason to text.
That's
also
true. Yeah.
So, because I would just like go buy one at like the store, and let's see, I think with Comiteer, I just love the ritual of it. I think also like more and more people are realizing that, you know, they can get really fancy with their coffees at home. So through Comiteer, like by other means, but that they don't need to be spending like all this excess like cash on, you know, you go to like the most like bougie coffee shop in the city, and like it just like burns a hole in your wallet, and you're like, why did I do that? Or with this, it's like, I feel fine. I used to not feel fine like bringing like my Kroger coffee with almond milk and like however I take it to the office, because like the taste is okay. I would look forward to like making my Comiteer in the morning, putting it in like the little tumbler
Stojo
from them,
or whatever.
Yeah, and then like bringing it to the office, because like that coffee literally tasted, if I just poured it in like a normal cup, like a paper cup, it would literally just taste like I went to the coffee shop. I haven't had any coffee today, so like this is a big deal.
It was launch day. How did you do it?
I don't know, and it's National Coffee Day too.
It is.
And it is. And So I literally was like on the way here, and I was like, I could go to Dunkin' because it's free if I just buy one thing, or I go to La Colombe. It's 2:00 and I could be up all night. So which do I pick? I picked neither because I want to go to bed tonight. But no, that's usually like my daily struggle is like La Colombe draft latte or like not today. And then yeah, I also had 2 yesterday to be completely fair. So
something that I hear is like the thing that sets this apart is like it's not just the product, it's the whole experience, right?
Mhm.
You're talking about replacing an in-store, very important experience, honestly, like going into a coffee shop. I believe it's important with frozen coffee. And you're willing to do that because the product, it tastes like the ritual that you have. And so that there's an equating of experience that you're talking about. And that's sort of the trade-off more than anything else. And I think that's probably true for a lot of things when we switch. We're switching not just because it's necessarily like a better product unto itself, but it's everything sort of surrounding it as well. Like, and like thinking through the trade-off, and like not everyone's totally that cognizant of that trade-off, but I think there's something you're really like hitting on something important here.
Yeah, no, it's like I would always look forward to making my commentary in the morning versus the same way I would be excited to go leave the house to go get coffee. And I think also it's the same thing. This is a good side path into like the launch for today, where it's a brand called Canopy. And so we make humidifiers and like diffusers. But the brand positioning on Canopy is that a humidifier is a skincare tool, which is true. But all brands previously, like Honeywell, Dyson, makes your air cleaner, like no congestion, allergies, whatever. Where with us, we're like, no, it literally makes your topical products work better because if you have optimal indoor humidity, your skin can like receive those products better. Helps with like all the congestion and stuff, helps you sleep better, helps with dry skin, literally everything. But like no one ever like talked about it as that. And so I think that's one thing too, where like from unboxing to use, it's like the full experience. Like I get DMs on the account of like, I loved setting it up. I loved taking it out of the box. I love getting my filter subscription every month at my door. Cause like they get to like open up the top of the canopy and like take the filter out and see like all the crap that was like in their water. And like they'll send photos of their dirty filters. And then like every month I get like literally like photos of like, look what color my filter is. It's like purple. I'm like, what is in your water? Like, so it's like, all of that, it's like also just an extra step to their skincare routine too, in a way. But like today we launched with like Lauren Bostic from the Skinny Confidential, who like lives by her humidifier, and it's a product that even when she posted the teaser last night, people were like, just from the box shape, a lot of people already own a Canopy because she spoke about it on her podcast, and they bought it because of her, and she loves hers. So when we did like the first designed collaboration, like it's pink, it has a drip grate to it, like it literally is unlike anything we've ever made. The thing is on that is that people were commenting being like, well, I already bought one the first time you talked about it, but I bought this one because it's so pretty, or like I love the benefits of like how often I use it already. And it was just like insane to see how many people were already guessing like, oh, it's a humidifier, it has to be with Canopy. Like it was like no other brands were existing. Like it was literally like, it's a humidifier with Canopy. It's not Dyson.
Wow.
Like, because the brand positioning is so strong that like the team at Canopy has done such a great job. I've been on that project for almost our anniversaries for a year is next week. I'm not ready for 2022 yet, but, so I've been on this for a long time. And so to seeing like their internal team grow, I like manage the organic social and influencer stuff on that front, but like working with their internal team and like seeing them scale and like how they've been able to position this and like the opportunities are just like insane. But like, yeah, it just goes back to like the experience of it though. Like that's why people like our number one story that we get is the full unboxing experience. Like all customers almost always post the full unboxing experience and then post when their filter comes.
Yeah, and you think about like a Honeywell unboxing, that is the worst unboxing ever.
It's also like massive.
It's massive.
The box has a hole in it.
It's like, It's just a completely different.
It's got that weird strap cord around it that you have to get like your garden shears to cut. You know what I'm talking about, Brian?
Yeah, I do. And this is the thing. Like, I think it's the same thing. The experience matters. And so it's not just the product, it's everything around it. It's the community. It's the, it's the people who are involved, the unboxing, it's all there. And so understanding what's the experience that you're placing versus like what you're bringing to the table, and the delta between the two, I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing too, where it's just, I think the brands that are putting more thought into the experience of it all are like performing better versus just here it is in a brown box when it gets shipped to your house. And so I think it's just like one of those things where, unless by some means the packaging has an experience on it. For example, like a past client of mine was Barcode, that was founded by like Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers and Bar Malik, who was the director of performance for the Knicks. And the one thing about Barcode is that the bottle is scannable. It has a QR code on the front. You could reorder. We used batch as well for like reordering. And then the front barcode would sync up with, if you open up your Instagram camera, went to our account and like used our filter, when you like scanned the filter over the barcode, it would expand into like the bottle being in your hand, and then all the ingredients that were like in the bottle. So you could like physically see it, and it would have movement, and it was awesome. And so I think it's either like you're creating the experience from unboxing and use, or like something that's like super frequent, or if it's not in your unboxing, it's like on your product.
Yeah. I love the packaging innovation. I think we said the word experience quite a bit. You mentioned the two major modalities that consumers fall into, which is seeking something new or stocking up on something trusted. I happen to do a good deal of research at Right Point about this. And we can link it up in the show notes. But it was a research study called Seeking Out and Stocking Up. And it's interesting that consumers tend to find themselves in behaving in both modes in the same category, but with different brands. Like I've observed this in myself. I'm going to keep Cometeer on stock, but I'm still going to be, I'm still experimental with coffee. I'm still going to check out the new coffee shop, right? Like there isn't just one mode, but I think you can actually, you can capture, I guess we would call it loyalty, but you can encourage the stocking up mode if we ever bothered to try to get a customer to stock up. And that's the thing that I don't understand in e-commerce, especially in beverage. I think that there's definitely like there's space constraints and it's expensive to ship stuff around. So there's that challenge. But when I buy LaCroix, I buy like 12 packs of LaCroix.
You
because
buy it at Costco though, right?
Because I actually don't buy it at Costco. That's a whole other thing. That's a different episode. But when I buy LaCroix at the grocery store, it's typically on 3. It's buy 2 get 3, right? There's an incentive for me to stock up.
Yes.
But in e-commerce, because of, and I believe this intently, because of the obsession with certain metrics, right? Like customer lifetime value, we tend to prefer and try to push customers into a subscription where there's a predictable monthly recurring revenue. And that's and I think that that's great for capitalized companies. But what a customer who's actually like already hooked wants is to have 36 of those things sitting in their garage fridge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they want. And we don't have, like, forget the experience and the unboxing and all that stuff. You could probably sell a whole heck of a lot more and have a customer who's like really just infatuated with a brand and the experience with it if we even bothered to try to sell in bulk to customers, but we don't. And I think that those are like also part of the experience, with air quotes. It's part of the experience of doing business with a customer is to try to get them to purchase on the terms they want and not the terms you want them to.
Yeah.
I agree. Sorry.
I think it's also one of those things where it's like anything with subscription right now. It's like, I don't even think I have any subscriptions right now besides my own canopy filter. Because like I need that to use the unit. Like that's also the thing. Like you need the filter to use the unit. So, but then it's also with like the aroma collaborations that we do. If you're on the premium subscription, you're getting your filter every 6 weeks, but then you're also getting our like most up-to-date aroma collab. So like every month you can also like kind of pick like what you want. So like you get to like choose. So it's not like you have like 6 of the same collabs sitting like in your closet. It's like, oh, like we just launched the one with Lauren today. So like now people might get like, or they might just order it anyway. They're like, well, I love using the aroma feature. So like, I want to go purchase this aroma kit, but I don't need a new unit. And then like, same with like, we have an aroma collab happening again, like another collab happening in like 2.5 weeks. And what will happen is like anyone who's been getting the most recent oil that we release, like the 3-pack, they'll start getting the new one the minute it lands, so that they like get a different experience.
Right. It keeps it fresh.
So it's like it always changes. Yeah. So they don't like stalemate on it.
Comes back to trialing and sampling, Brian.
It sure does.
We need Millennial Costco.
We really do.
And we do.
Millennial Golden Corral.
I feel like the closest thing to that in terms of like a step in the right direction was like something like Pop-Up Grocer, or now like Foxtrot, right, where it's like, you know, it's like you get all the brands in like the box or the space, but now it's like, okay, but yeah, now it's like we got to like sample and like do one step next, or like one's like DTC grocery store, like full blown grocery store, like non pop-up.
Yes.
So like something like that. But then it's also like you have the snacks, Good Smart downtown in the city on Lafayette. Mm-hmm. And I thought immediately like, holy crap, great concept, great idea. It's like everything that's like, you know, nicely branded D2C brands usually like in this one little space on the corner of the street, until you walk in, and like no hate against them, because I said it's a great idea. Until everything is upcharged double the price, I am not purchasing any of
that. Right, exactly.
Because like, they've got to make a margin too, right?
I'm not, and it's like I totally get that, but at the same time, it's like I can go to Whole Foods and buy Siete chips for $4. Why am I going to spend $9?
Yeah,
and yeah, they're it's
like
true. It's just true.
It gets a little crazy, but I do have I have my select brands that I will overspend on if I'm put in that situation, because that specific store decides to do that.
Right.
Again, it's modes, right? Like if you're at the movie theater, which I don't know how often anyone goes to the movie theater anymore, but if you do, right? Yeah. If you do, you know, the Twizzlers, they cost $7. Yeah. Right. They cost $8.
Has anyone done D2C Twizzlers? No.
Ooh.
Wait, there's a licorice brand that just launched, but
there
I don't
is
know
a licorice
the name
brand.
I can't remember the name.
Are they gluten-free? Because it's really hard to find gluten-free licorice.
I don't know. I remember. I think Eli posted them on his story.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna have to go check this out.
We're nearing time.
I know. I had a whole topic that I wanted to get into, which we'll have to get into on the next time that you come on the show, Kendall.
We got to have you back.
Yeah,
I'm more than happy to come back.
I love it. Resident DTC nerd, DTC CPG nerd, OMG. Kendall Dickieson, thanks for coming. Where can people find you on Insta or whatever?
You can find me on Instagram if you like cool recipes and stuff. Even though I haven't posted in a hot minute, it's at The Flexible Foodie. And then like my personal is just at Kendall Mary, if you feel like seeing the behind the scenes of my life. And just me posting like coffee cups around the city and how caffeinated I am. Then Twitter is at Flexible Foodie, but I'm trying to get that switched. Then let's see what else. Because it was like I made that account when I had my food account, being like, it's gonna be my food Twitter, and now it's like completely not that. I still share like food and everything I'm eating there on there though. And then let's see, website is kendalldickieson.com.
Love it.
But I need to update the website, so maybe go to the other stuff first.
We're gonna trim with a razor blade all these little qualifiers. We love it. We love having you on the show. Thank you for doing this. It was like hanging out with a really good friend, but we all just met, and
it was super fun. super, super fun. Thank you.
No, this is
Brian,
great.
I'm sorry that I jumped down your throat on Costco. I love you.
Costco's amazing. Peace.
Okay.
It is amazing. Peace sign.
All right. he got it in. Thank you for listening to Future Commerce. Hey, remember, we can all shape the future. Let's do that together. Make the world we all want to live in. Hey, go listen to more episodes of this podcast at futurecommerce.fm. And we have our newest report is available right now. It's called 9x9. It's 81 brands that are going to change the way that we all engage in commerce. And I believe because commerce can change the world, I think those brands are changing the world. Go get that report right now at 9x9.report. That's it. Thank you for listening to Future Commerce.